Welcome back to another new month, I believe, in between the beginning of a new month. So today, I think today is another bright day. Let's discuss some issues that I believe is part of the problems we have within families, corporates, friendships, and I'll break it down to as simple as this. If you sit within a family setup and you're driving, you have a good car, you have a family, you have children, you have property, and let's say you're in a family of three or four or five. That person, when they speak, everybody listens to them. Why? They have something they're bringing on the table. Why? They have quantifiable um, items or perspectives or things we see, and we peg them to that. So what happens eventually, within that family, let's say of five, and then you have one who doesn't have a job, who has not done all those qualifications, who doesn't have a family, who doesn't have anything much but their name, um, they are shut, or um, they are put on the side. So it means you are as good as what to bring on the table. Well, what happens eventually is you lose the potential within yourselves, because the one you put aside has more vision, but they have no opportunity. They don't have an opportunity because they don't have something quantifiable to put on the table in retrospect to the other child, who pretty much seems to have everything: car, house, children. So eventually, the one who has nothing shrugs away. They pull away. And we'll hear things parents say, but this child I used to talk doesn't talk. Used to be part, but that was then when they were in high school and primary and maybe college. But now they're in their 20s, mid 20s and above. So they're in this place where society pegs them to have a wife, kid. And I put it down even in my own as an individual. I'll be very honest. There is a reason I don't go to several family events or even within friendships or status quo. Because at my age, well, 29, this, most expect me to have had car, wife, I, two children, to have property over property. But that's not me. Do I want to have a family? Yeah. Do I want to have property? Why not? But I will not do what people want me to do so that I can fit in a place. And by default, you don't have a voice. You're as good as what you bring on the table. A parent will choose the one who brings something on the table. Even in terms of relatives, a relative A will choose will be listened to affect your family by what they bring. Their value proposition gives their value for the voice. But what do you have to bring on the table? You. So they're like, what else can you bring on the table? You. What else can you bring on the table? Me. And that's a problem with society. And we break it down even to a corporate structure or a company or a business. The one with the more papers will be heard more vis-a-vis the one who went to college. The one who has 10-year experience or 5-year experience or even worked in different companies has more value on the table than the one who started as a janitor, or the one who started as a cleaner, or the one who started as a security guard. What happens eventually, the one with the vision, ideally is that one that will set aside. The one that will put aside, they have seen, they know. And that's why we have companies that come to realize 10, 15 years later the mistakes they made, because they did not take time to learn their people. So you choose whoever has a higher value proposition pegged on what they bring on the table. But eventually, you do not have the right person for the job, because at the end of the day, it's not the papers you bring, the skill. And a skill with many definitions, but at the end of the day is Can you be able to move one to step ahead? Yeah, you can. Same problem with governments. You choose who has more political following, then that person will give them power. That person could be the best politician. They can run, but it doesn't mean they can lead that community or citizens to a particular place, but they have the best following. But they know the right people who can do their job, and the wisest politicians, that's what they do. They know I'm good at having masses. I don't know that place of governorship, or that ideal of leadership. What will I do? I'll bring the people within that I've seen, I've interacted with, who are better than me. Um, Even when you're dealing with issues, what's the best advice I normally what's the take? Well, if you are dealing with a relationship issue, well, you'll pretty much go for the one who has more experience, because if you been single and the first relationship you've done is 6 months or 4 months or 3 months, well, don't really have much to bring on the table. That's what I say. Maybe, but the thing is, you have an experience, and the experience you may have can be the value proposition versus this person who has had 10 years in marriage. And that's where we need to be as a families, as society, as nation. Everybody has a uniqueness in what they bring on the table. If I go to an event, they're the people who will finance the event. They have the money. But there are people who don't have the money to finance the event, but they can do the service. The other people, they don't know how to do that service, but they can bring their presence. Them being there adds up. If we all learn to appreciate everyone's worth, how far would we be as nations, as communities, as families? My challenge to you out there is very simple. Who do you give the value proposition? Is it the person who brings what you can see? Or do you respect everyone for who they are worth? Because at the end of the day, idea is an idea. There's no good or bad idea. We just pick and choose ideas. How do we run with policies? We pick and choose. We have a gap. After we have a gap, we discuss, we research, we take different people, we take different ideologies, we take different theories, we put them together, fine tune, have a one draft, second draft, third draft, final draft, then the final original. Then you have the copies from there on. Everybody, even a child as young as 1 to 2 years, has a high value proposition than even someone who's 80 years with a lot of experience. So the challenge I pose to you is very simple. Who do you give the value proposition? Do you choose because of what I bring on the table, or do you respect everybody for what they are worth? The kid, the on the streets, the homeless who live on the streets have more knowledge, more ideologies that what happens in the streets, that if you sit with that person and tell them, give me 2 minutes of your time, you give them food first, you make sure they eat, you give them a place to put their head, you give them that value proposition and tell them, what do you think you can do in this city? I trust you, me, you go try it out. They will tell you things that your mind will never have known. And they're not even going to the schools. They're not even going to the best institutions. But they see, they are on the ground. They know what's on the ground. Everybody has a high value proposition. But the problem is we choose what we see to make decisions. And that's why we end up having problems everywhere. Problems in family, problems in society, problems in corporates, problems in businesses, problems in politics, problems in governorship, problems in leadership and running countries and running counties, Egypt, whatever you call it. At the end of the day, respect everybody. Respect that dog. Respect that cat. Respect that lion when it's in the jungle. Respect that cheetah when it's in the jungle. Respect everybody is placed, wherever they are placed, for a window of time. A father may never have gone to the best institutions, but the father can bring forth a leader who will do the things he wished he did when he reached that age. The question I ask back is, why do we choose value propositions based on quantifiable things? We can do better than that. So my challenge to you is, change how you treat people. Appreciate everybody. We may not bring food on the table, we may not be able to do much, but respect everybody for what they are worth. That is my challenge to you. So at the end of the day, what's your value proposition? How do you choose who you choose? Respect everybody and appreciate everybody. Signing out, Norris Mange.